Assalamualaikum and good day. Today's lesson we will learn about incident investigation, recording and reporting. The lesson outcome of this topic. At the end of this topic, you should be able to explain the purpose of and procedure for investigating incident, accidents, cases of work-related ill health and other occurrences. And the second one is you can describe the legal and organizational requirement for recording and reporting such incident. Incidents and accidents rarely result from a single cause. Usually it may turn out to be a complex. So most incidents involved by multiple and also interrelated causal factors. They can occur whenever significant deficiencies, oversights, an error, omission, or unexpected changes occur. And any of these can be the precursor of an accident or incident. Incident and accidents, whether they cause damage to property or more serious injury and or ill health to people. So it should be properly and thoroughly investigated to allow an organization to take the appropriate action. An accident is any unplanned event that results in personal injury or property damage. So the cause of most accidents usually is because of the failure of people, equipment, supplies or surrounding to behave exactly as expected. And why we need to do the accident investigation? So actually the purpose is first to determine how and why these failures occur, and second one is prevention of recurrence of similar accidents, and the last one is to put right deficiencies in the OSMS. Incident investigation is considered to be part of a reactive monitoring system because it is triggered after an event. If you still remember our lesson last week about the proactive and also the reactive monitoring, so incident investigation actually is part of reactive monitoring, because it is triggered after an event. So the accident is an event that results in injury, including sickness and also the absences. Number 4, incident divided into two, which is the first one is near miss. Near miss is event that have the potential to cause or ill health and may cause damage to property, personal effect or work in progress. And the second one is undesired circumstance. So this is a set of condition or circumstance that have the potential to cause injury or ill health or damage. So the example, if you can see a crane driver, a crane driver drops a load. So when this load hits a person standing below, so it is an accident. So when the load hit a person standing below, that is an accident. Meanwhile, where the person wearing appropriate protection, meaning this is example of mitigation. Okay, and when a person push the intended victim out of the way, so there is another person that push the victim out of the way, so this situation become of near miss or near hit. And when the person was standing nearby when at the load come into the land, so we can see that situation is near miss or lucky, yeah, when the person is standing nearby at the place when the load is fall. So the differences between an accident and also the near miss or near hit sometimes is just one pure luck, yeah. So this is an example of the cause of death or injury can be best because of accident in motor vehicle, falls, electric current, drowning, fires, air transport, poison, machinery, or maybe because of the falling object. So in this picture, you can see the differences between the accident, near miss, and also the undesired circumstance. Yeah. So the picture in A picture. So this is example of accident. So there is already there is a person that have injured there, yeah, because of the load that fall from the top. And also the B picture is near miss, yeah? And then the C picture is undesired circumstance. So what is the reason for incidents and accident investigation? So actually we have to know, yeah, the cause, and we need to understand, yeah, about why incident and accident happen. So because also in the legal reasons, it is stated also in the OSHA 1994 and FMA 1967, actually, sorry, there is a typo error there. Okay, and then also to company or employer know what they should do, after this accident happen. So it can communicate the type of accident that needs to be reported, provide a system for reporting and recording, analyze the event routinely to check for trend in performance and the prevalence of type of incident or injury, and also to monitor the system to make sure that it is working satisfactorily. So some importance of accident investigation, why we need to do this, because first we can determine the root cause of accident. Second one, we can discover the problem that don't directly lead to accident, and also it can reduce the likelihood of accident occurring. And about the action and improvement, we know what is actually the action and improvement that we can do, to prevent the similar accidents from happen. So which incident or accident that should be investigated? So we need to investigate the injury accident. So the main determinant is the potential of the accident to cause harm rather than the actual harm resulting. For example, a slip, yeah, can result in an embracing or flailing of arm, or just as easily a broken leg. And the frequency of occurrence of the accident type is also important, like a stream of minor cut from pepper needs looking into. This is the likelihood of recurrence for the risk assessment. So for the potential worst injury or consequences of accident or incidents, divided into 4 categories, which is the minor, serious, major, and fatal. And then for the likelihood is certain, likely, possible, unlikely, and also rare. So in minimal level, minimal level investigation, the relevant supervisor will look into the circumstance of the accident or incident and try to learn any lesson which will prevent a future incidents. Okay, and a low level investigation will involve a short investigation by the relevant supervisor. And a medium level investigation will involve a more detailed investigation by the relevant supervisor or line manager, and also the health and safety advisor and employee representative. So this we look for the immediate and underlying and root cause. Meanwhile, for the high level investigation, that will involve a team-based investigation that involves supervisor or line manager, health and safety advisor, and also employee representative. So it will be carried out under the supervision of senior management or director, and will look for the immediate, underlying, and root cause. The human factors theory of accident causations holds that a chain of events that is or was caused by a consistent human error lead to an accident. So factors that lead to the human error are overload. Overload here means that action that exceed the ability of component to handle the amount. And here in overload example, in the environmental factors, which is the noise, and also there is a distraction from the surrounding, and also the internal factors. In these internal factors, example is like the personal problem, and maybe the workers feel stress. Yeah? And the last one is situational factors. In these situational factors, the example like the instruction is not clear, or maybe the risk level too high. And then for the inappropriate response, here in inappropriate response, the example is like know about the hazard but not doing anything about it. Okay, and then the workers are removing the safeguard and also ignore the safety rules. Meanwhile, for the inappropriate activities, the example is like the person or the workers not trained to do the job, yeah, that is being done. And also this is a lack of a new worker orientation as to the appropriate, safe and efficient way to perform the task for which the person was hired. And also not judging the degree of risk correctly is another factor of the human factors theory that seek to give understanding to the decision when a person underestimate their level of risk that was associated with the current process. This is also another accident and incident theory. So as you can see here, like overload and also the ergonomic straps and decision to error, this is a cause of the human error. Yeah? So overload like the pressure, the fatigue, motivation, drugs and alcohol. Okay, meanwhile for the ergonomic strap, yeah, like the incompatible workstation and also the incompatible expectation. So for the decision to error, like the misjudgment, in unconscious desire to error, and also logical decision. And this human error, it will cause the accident. Yeah, so this accident will cause the injury, of course, yeah, the damage or the injury, or maybe just the property damage. And this accident also, there are one variable that maybe also can become the cause of the accident, like the system failure, like in terms of the policy and also training. And now here is for the system theory, where the system is a group of regularly interacting and also interrelating component and unified. And for the system theory is actually is the situation that causing accidents in a system component. So here there is three variable that include in the system, which is the persons as a host, and then the machine, agency, and also the environment. So the likelihood of accident is determined by how this component, this third component, is react between each other. The person with the machine, and also the machine with the environment, and the person also environment with the person, and so on. About the investigation and causes of accident or incident, we need to know who should investigate, and also when should the investigation be conducted, what is the method, and then how is the interview technique, and then how we can compare with the relevant standard, and then we give the recommendation, and then you need to do the follow-up training and also fill up the investigation form. The investigation should lead by the supervisor and a line manager or other people with sufficient status and knowledge to make a recommendation that will be respected by the organization. Why? Because he know about the situation, he know also most about the employees, and then also this management have a personal interest in preventing further incident or accident affecting their people, their equipment or materials, can take immediate action to prevent a similar incident, and can demonstrate a practical concern for employees and control over the immediate workstation. The investigation should be carried out as soon as possible after the incident to allow the maximum amount of information to be obtained. So why we need to do this investigation as soon as possible? Because the factors are still fresh in the mind of the witnesses, and then the witnesses have had less time to talk, and then the physical condition have had less time to change, and more people are likely to be available. Immediate information from the person suffering, and also the accident often prove to be most useful. So what is the method to do the investigation? So first, you can collect the facts about what has occurred. Second one, assemble and analyze the information obtained. The third one, you can compare the information with acceptable industry and company standard, and also the legal requirement to draw the conclusion. And also after that, after you got the conclusion, you can implement the finding and also monitor the progress. Investigation have three facets which are particularly valuable and can be used to check against each other. So the first one is direct observation, where here the skin, premises, workplace, relationship of components, material and substances being used, possible reconstruction of event and injuries or condition of the person concerned. For the documents, including written instruction, like the training record, procedure, operating system, and examination carried out. And the last one is interview. In this interview, including written statement, so with person injured, witnesses, people who have carried out similar functions, or examination and tests on the equipment involved, and people with specialist knowledge. Immediate cause, like the personal factors, including behavior, suitability, and also training and competence. And for the task factors, example like workplace condition, actual method of work adapted at the time. The ergonomic factors. Ergonomic factors here is like the posture of the workers, and also about the load, and also the repetition, and so on. Meanwhile, for the underlying root causes, underlying causes like the pre-startup machinery checks, hazard not considered in the risk assessment, and also the pressure of production, etc. Meanwhile, for the root cause, it can be management or organizational failing, such as quality of health and safety policy, quality of communication, deficiencies in RAM plans and control system, and quality and frequency of review and audits. This is some technique that we can use for do the investigation interview. So this is the basic question to be asked in an investigation. So first is what what accident happened, or what kind of the incident that happened, and then when it happened, when the accident happened, and then where is the place accident, and also who is involved in this accident, who is the victim, who is the witness, and so on, and how the accident happened. Yeah, so this is actually basic question, yeah, to be asked in investigation. So how to do the interview? So you as the interviewer, you need to listen what is the person said, yeah, how it's said and not said, yeah, and then you have to prepare the open-ended format question, and okay, and not to lead the witness to answer the question. Okay, so actually the answer can be open-ended. Yeah, an example here, instead of asking, did you see the victim push the red button, you can change, yeah, the phrase to the tell me what you saw, so it is the witness will be more freely to answer, yeah, based on the experience, yeah, when based on his experience when he involved, when he is there, yeah, he was there when the accident happened. How to do the interview? So you don't influence the witnesses with non-verbal communication like the face expression, tone of voice, etc. Meanwhile, for the effective technique, you need to listen to the witness, make mental notes, yeah, to give them the motivation, yeah, and then summarize what you heard and make notes as soon as witness leave. For the recommendation part, the investigation should have highlighted both immediate causes and also the underlying causes. For the recommendation, both for immediate action and for longer term improvement should come. Yeah? And it may be necessary to ensure that the report goes further up the management chain if the improvements recommended require authorization, so which cannot be given by the investigating team. For the follow-up, it is essential that a follow-up is made to check on the implementation of the recommendation. And also, it is also necessary to review the effect of the recommendation to check whether they have achieved the desired result. For the investigation form, headings which could be used to compile an accidents or incidents investigation form are given below. So the first one, you need to stated the date and location of accident or incident, the circumstance of accident and incident, immediate cause of accident and incident, and next is underlying cause of accident or incidents, immediate action taken, recommendation for further improvement, and then report circulation list, date of investigation, signature of investigating team leader, and name of investigating team. After do the investigation, we need to prepare a report. So the accident report should contain the following, like the description of incident injuries, the sequence of events, pertinent fact discovered during the investigation, conclusion of the investigator, and also the recommendation for correcting problem. In the background information, you need to write where and when the accident occurred, who and what were involved, and then operating personnel and other witness, and what happened. For the section what happened, you need to include the sequence of events, extent of damage, accident type, and also sources of energy or hazardous agent. In discussion part, for the analysis of the accidents, you need to write direct causes like the energy sources, hazardous material, and indirect causes like the unsafe act and also the condition, and for the basic causes like the management policies, personal or environmental factors. We need to be objective, like the state, the facts, assign causes, not blame. And if referring to individual actions, don't use names in the recommendation. The example of the good one, like all employees should blah blah blah. And then for this is the example of the bad, you mention the name, like the George should blah blah blah. In the part of the recommendation, you should determine the corrective action, okay, and then interpret and draw the conclusion, recommendation based on key contributory factors, and also recommendation to prevent recurrence for immediate and long range action to remedy. And then also implement the corrective action. Recommendation must be communicated clearly and objectively, and strict timetable established, and also the follow-up conducted. Accident investigation form must be filled out completely by the employee and also employee's immediate supervisor. Okay, this is also include the foreman, and must be turned into the HSE department within 24 hours of incident. When we would like to write a good report, firstly we need to know who is the reader, okay, and then who is our target reader. And in good report also have to be accurate and complete of the information, and clarity and completeness of the description of the sequence of event leading up to the accident, correct identification of all causal factors, and recommendation that made for corrective action to reduce or eliminate the probability of recurrence of a similar accident, and recommendation for corrective action to improve management system and timelines, proper review and sign off. Some supporting documentation that should include in the report, like the accident investigation form, witness statement, a record of interview, checklist about the victim, witnesses, environment and location, equipment, documentation, and accident incident record. Communication on the corrective action as a result of the investigation, like report, publication, safety meeting, toolbox briefing, and safety alert. And follow-up tracking system about training, job hazard analysis, and incident trend analysis. So we can conclude that benefit of accident investigation, it can prevent recurrence, identify outmoded operation method, improve work environment, raising of safety awareness and morale, lower medical costs due to viewer accidents, avoid lawsuit or liabilities due to accident, greater efficiency due to no work stoppage, and increased productivity due to upgrading of process system. Sometimes we can see that accidents are not being reported. So why? Because fear of disciplinary action that maybe can be taken, and also the concern about safety record, concern about reputation and image, and then to avoid work interruption or productivity losses, and ignorance and poor understanding of safety management. So the summary of this topic, with the effective investigation, it can describe what happened and determine the real cause, decide the risk, and develop control. Next is define trends and demonstrate management concern. Effective investigation includes respond to emergency promptly, collect all the information, analyze and evaluate all significant causes, and develop and take remedial action, review finding and recommendation, and follow through. Okay, so that's all for our topic today. See you in the next topic. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.